Hello, this is Alexandra Epple
Donna Skoglund.
and we are talking about tiny habits for self-care when you have no time. Whoever has time, right?
You gotta do some Zen in the beginning of your day.
Yeah. Donna, you have a lot going on in your life. You have two kids, you have a business to run, you are going on a retreat, you're leading a retreat in Croatia here pretty soon. I mean, you are a person who has no time, like so many other people, of course, on this planet. So how do you fit in self-care? What are some of the tiny habits that we can do to take care of ourselves? Keep the bucket full.
You gotta keep that bucket full. Yeah, that way you get to give more. Good Lord, that has holes in it again. Jeez, how I can never fill that up. Hang on, gotta fix it. Easy fix.
I mean, for me, self-care is built into my day. So it's a non-negotiable. I wake up early, so I'm able to, I make the time, because really we all can make the time. We all have the time. But, I totally honor and understand when people really just don't have as much time. So I think starting really, really small with 1-minute meditations, or I love the 7-minute New York Times workout, or just really small, sometimes mini breaks in the day, because I work from home, so I can do this. I just find a wall and I kick up to a handstand, and that's kind of my my mini breaks.
The yogi is speaking.
Yeah, I get up and I fill my hot water, and it's, making sure that I'm just taking those little moments to do something that is good for me, so that I'm not just burning out.
Yeah, totally. It's so easy to just set self-care aside. And I think for me, number one is just to make self-care a priority.
Yeah.
If it's not a priority, it's not going to happen. We're just going to be swept away by work and by our husbands and by our children and our society and other people's demands. But if we actually prioritize it and say from 8 to 8:30, or from whatever, 6 to 6:30, that's my self-care time. That's my time. And I'm doing something for myself. And or even if it's just from 6 till 6:10 a.m. and that's my time. But really just allotting a certain amount of time in the day to take care of ourselves.
Totally. And we have little control. Often, many of us have little control over the middle of the day, like our work day, and the whether we're parents taking care of kids, or we have jobs or friends or family members or other people that we need to attend to and have responsibilities with. But we do have, we really do have control over the very beginning of our day and the very end of our day. So again, like you said, it's just making it a priority, and then starting really small with, can I just go to bed 5 minutes earlier and wake up 5 minutes earlier, and then have that 5 minutes, whether that's just to take a few deep breaths and maybe do a few stretches and build from there. I mean, it really can be that simple. I mean, I have 2 hours every morning that I dedicate, because I have built it into my day. And I'm, like you said, I'm really busy. I have 2 young boys. I have, I'm leading 4 courses. I have lots going on. But from 5 to 7 every morning, that is non-negotiable for me, that I have my yoga or my exercise, my meditation, my journaling, my writing. So it's, and then it's like, then the little micro practices throughout the day are really important. And then at the end of the day, it's like, I don't try to stay up late at all, ever anymore. I'm in bed right after my kids. They're in bed by 8, I'm in bed by 8:30. And then I have 30-45 minutes to relax or to read and give myself a foot massage.
Well, and what I want to pick up on was what you said, I have a time in the morning, I have a time in the evening. And I think that's really important to bookend your day with something that's just for you. And it's like, so there's self-care practice, then there's this work thing, and then there's self-care practice again. And it can be tiny, it doesn't have to be 2 hours like Donna is doing and I'm doing, and doing an hour and a half in the morning, but it doesn't have to be like that. It can start out with, hey, let's do 5 minutes in the morning and let's do 10 minutes in the evening, or just random.
Yeah. You gotta back end your day with self-care, morning and evening.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
do it, because that whatever you do in the morning sets the tone for the rest of the day. And if we get up and jump out of the bed, drink a cup of coffee, and then go to work, that doesn't set a very good tone for the day at all. But instead, if I get up and say I make myself some coffee, say I'm still doing that, and then I'm going to sit down for 5 minutes and meditate, or just sit still for 5 minutes. That already has a profound impact on the rest of your day.
It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, for me, the morning routine is so important, just for being proactive in your life rather than reactive. And like you said, if you just wake up and hit the ground running and slam back some coffee and you're already in a reactive state to your life, and then that's the energy, exactly like you mentioned, you're going to carry with you throughout your day and throughout your life, and you're going to feel like you're not in charge of your time, and you're not in charge of your life, and frustrated and unsatisfied. So that the morning routine is an amazing opportunity to take control in just, again, like these small ways, and just starting really small with short practices for you.
And then the other thing I want to pick up on what you said about the tiny habits or practices throughout the day. Because isn't it like normal that I remember a time when I was working in an office, and I would get there at 8 a.m. and I would work till 5 p.m. You know, it was kind of one of those jobs where you drop your pencil at 5 p.m. And I was there, and it was very easy to just sit at your desk and la and do your work and be focused and all of that. And that's all good, right? But after a certain amount of time, your brain gets tired, and you're just like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to walk over to the coffee machine and get some coffee.
Right.
Well, after a while, I figured out, because I've been practicing yoga, what about if I just do a quick handstand? Or if I can't do that for some reason because I'm not a yogi or whatever, how about if I just bend forward and do like a forward bend so that the blood can go into the brain and rejuvenate my brain? I started doing that instead of the coffee thing, because I actually didn't like coffee all that much. You know, it's just like do it out of habit because everybody else is doing it.
Exactly.
You know, coffee gives you lots of energy, but a forward fold too. Oop, I'm back. Sorry.
But just like doing that, it was incredible.
Yeah, I know. I'm reading a book right now, and he's talking about how, the whole 8-hour work day is such a outdated thing back from when we were working in physical labor. And it makes sense to do like work in the field for 8 hours, but because we're doing such like mental work, that our brain, like, it's actually not optimal for our brains to like try to focus and think for that long. Like really, like the optimal work day should be like 4 hours. And a lot of companies are recognizing this and giving employees that flexibility of being able to work from, remotely and create their own schedules, because when it's just silly, sometimes people just sit there all day, are unproductive, and just kind of using up time and making the time go by, and totally distracted, and they have a million tabs open, and they're checking email and then social media and all these things, and it's so silly. So I mean, if you do have to be at your work week, at your work day for 8 hours, exactly, it's like find ways of actually maximizing that time where you focus really well, and then you maybe go for a short walk or do some desk yoga. There's some great just YouTube videos that you could just take 5-10 minutes every 90 minutes or so, and do some stretches and get the blood flowing again, and get up and stand up, and because our brains aren't meant to focus for that long.
Yeah, totally. And now I'm thinking of some clients that are not desk workers, but actually they have to be at work because they're paramedics, or they're nurses, or they're healthcare, some kind of healthcare providers. So in that case, we can't really work from home, or we can't stop showing up for people, obviously. But that is also very exhausting. Like, so I'm thinking of simply doing some stretches, and it doesn't even have to be that long, like 5 minutes, 3 minutes, it doesn't matter. Do 3 stretches, 10 breaths each. Little side bend, little forward bend, little back bend, and and the body is so rejuvenated.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. Just we have time for these little things, and it really does, like you said, it has a profound effect. Even just 1 or 2 minutes of, whether it's meditating for 1 or 2 minutes, or stretching for 1 or 2 minutes, or taking a walk, around the office or around the block or whatever you can manage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that you know some tips here around tiny habits, the question is, how are you going to remember them? How are you going to remember to do them, right? So we need to talk about some trigger. We need some trigger to remind us. And so the easiest trigger I can think of is what? Set a reminder on your phone.
Exactly.
It was just something popped up.
Yeah.
Perfect. That wasn't even meant to be.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I always recommend my clients is, you know, you get these notifications on your phone already, so might as well make them something that just reminds you to take a deep breath. Like take 5 deep breaths. That's all. Like that and set it to go off every hour or, you know, every 90 minutes.
Totally. So I think that's a very easy technique, or trigger rather. But I think also there's really other good triggers that connect us to the body more, because that's what we're all about, right? Connecting us back to the body and really noticing. So I personally like really the emotional trigger. So say I'm noticing that I'm starting to feel stressed out, or I notice that I'm starting to get angry or frustrated with something, that I use that as my trigger to say, oh, I need to do some self-care right now. Even just 5 minutes, step away from my desk, step away from whatever I'm doing, and just breathe for a minute, or do jumping stacks for a minute, or whatever it is, or go for a walk for 5 minutes outside and just tank in some sunshine.
Yeah, exactly. And especially when you're sitting in front of a computer, I think like giving our eyes a break, or even like, you know, palming our eyes, or because that's just, again, not so good for us. And whether we just stare out the window and look at something green for a few minutes and giving ourselves that little bit of self-care. But yes, the emotional trigger, and usually the emotional triggers eating for most people, because that's the fastest and most instantly gratifying way to ground and to settle and feel in a way taken care of. But it's not a very healthy way to take care of ourselves, but it gives us what we're looking for, the result that we're after. But there's so many other better ways, like you said, like what we've been talking about.
Totally.
You know, I feel a little down, and actually a bit depressed too. Maybe I should dig into my chocolate. Easter bunny chocolate. Another Easter bunny chocolate. Giotto's chocolate ballsies. But then I'm gonna get fat. Dana said I could go outside instead. I think I'm gonna do that. Bye.
Well, we could go on and on and on and on and on and on, but we don't. We are going to say goodbye. If you want more self-care tips for yourself, and if you want to step on a deeper self-care journey, we are here for you. This is Alexandra Epple. And
Dana Skoglund.
Bye.
Bye.